Hey everyone, Brian Von VA. That's right, we're back at it once again with another set of D&D stories, and today we're going to be talking about the best or silliest character names that you, yes you, have come up with. So, without any delay, what are your best or silliest character names? And, of course, put them down in the comments below. Recently, I have been giving my characters pretty silly names, and I wonder what other great names are out there. Let's see if they get me a chuckle. My two great names are these characters. The first character is in a campaign where the DM is using Candlekeep as a base in his homebrew world. This is not very important or has any spoilers. In this campaign, the world was flooded hundreds of years ago, but between two different campaigns, it has gone back to normal. And in this third campaign, we brought back Candlekeep from a time displacement. He is having all the players be students from noble families. Due to finding this, my character decides to commandeer an airship to quickly report this information to the academy. And I decided to say I am now the captain of the ship and refer to myself as Captain Welby Dovesky. A side note, the last name has been an issue. I keep swapping pronunciations between Dovesky or Dovinsky, or sometimes I'll just say something that's not even remotely close. Hey, I got Dovesky immediately, so Dovsky, meh. The full title my character introduces himself with is currently Professor, Senior, Mayor, Mechanic, Captain, Representative Welby Dovesky, or Dovsky, of the Unity Academy, bringer of civilization, archaeologist, matchmaker, avenger. I can still say this in one breath for now. I had to take two. The other is a dumb, naive goblin who was never given a name, but over time thought other goblins telling him to leave them alone was his name. Thus, where I replaced the placeholder name with Go Away the Goblin. One of my players decided to play a Verdant, I've never heard of that, and used a fantasy generator for a name. The name he chose was... what? Now the player, who is also my little brother, is new to D&D, so he didn't really have a backstory in the beginning. After the first few sessions, I asked him a few questions about his backstory. We continued to flesh out his backstory kinda on the fly. For example, at some point, I asked if his character had a lot of siblings like we do. Our parents have 8 kids. Holy hell! And he said, sure. Later, someone asked if what was short for something. Well, he asked me if it was, and I told him his character's full name is Waterford D. Avar. The D stands for DeFac. Over time, I cobbled together the details of his backstory and made up his family members. What is the second born of 6 siblings? His older sister is named Hois Whoever. His immediate younger sister is named Wendelin Wenavar. And his younger brothers in order of birth are Werin Where Avar, Wachel Y Avar, House How Avar. Their parents are named Rhyme and Reason. Best running joke in the whole campaign. Oh, that got me. A DM buddy of mine told me that once when he was starting out a campaign, the party didn't have a cleric. So he was worried they would TPK early in the game before things really got going. This was in 3.5, so it was a legitimate possibility. A buddy of his told him about one of his creations for just such a purpose. Eric the Generic Cleric. A true neutral cleric who wore all gray clothing, never got emotional, and was always trying to maintain moral balance. My friend figured that, well, he would be the perfect person for his needs. The party loved Eric, probably a little too much. Later in the campaign, a new player joined and decided to play a cleric. Now that they had a PC cleric, they didn't need Eric anymore. So my friend had Eric get kidnapped. The party went full-on crusade mode to get him back and were ready to kill everybody in their path if necessary to do it. Oh, it was hilarious. This happened earlier this week. In the campaign I play, my Swift Stride Shifter Fey Wander Ranger named Breeze in, the DM and I wanted to change things up a little and have a prequel version of my wizard Delkesh show up for a few sessions. See, the DM and I, along with one other player in this campaign, were all in the campaign I played Delkesh in for the first time. The other 3 players had never seen me play the young version of Delkesh. They'd only ever seen me play Grandpa Delkesh. One thing Delkesh was known for was his antics using the combination of Alter Self and Disguise Self together to change his appearance. The party met him after he'd just accidentally set a book on fire in the library, and they were about to go into the library to do some research. So Delkesh walked down the stairs, cast Alter Self and Disguise Self to make him look like an elf ranger, then turned on his heel and walked right back inside. The librarian took down our names to reserve access to the library. What was Delkesh's pseudonym? Nelkessa Eilemore, Duke of Hishandiatore, and High Mage of the Silverwood Guild. And yes, his surname is Eilemore, which is even funnier when you know that Delkesh never betted anyone the entirety of the first campaign I played him in, and we went from levels 1 to 17. Lanky Shanks, the Bugbear Assassin. Galand Grindilo, the Gnome Wizard. Sirius Blue, the Halfling Divination Wizard. Cranium Gale, the greatest weaponsmith in all of the world. The Warforged Artificer. And we have Toxic Tom, the Circle of Spores Druid. Gnome and goblin names are my favorite for hilarity. Kibble Grundlekin Tumble Humful Bumble Zat Glitter Cheek Grandin Grassface. Kill the goblin. Urk, the Boyark Master. Shank the Shiv. I played a gnome artillerist named Flynn Knuckle Tallman, who was also called Boom and Bam. One of my favorites was when I played a bugbear who was raised by gnomes, who would adopt the names of the fallen comrades they've had as he adventured. By the time he retired, his full name was Zook Eldon Urke Frug Fraus Yerden Jordan Teddy Twiggins Ironhide. Oh, God. I always try to give my characters clever pun names. Here's the full list of my PCs with their puns. Oh, God. I don't know if I can take much more of this. Okay. Vladimir Natas. Satan spelled backwards. Melody Automaton. The most obvious because she's a bard. But no, she doesn't actually play an automaton. Aw, man. Kedra Scalestorm. First name is an anagram for Drake. That's impressive and cool. Karain Skyward, based completely off of Skyward Sword, Zelda, of course. Even named after an NPC from the game. Also cute. Crystal Masvas, made for a Christmas one-off. The first syllable of the first and last name sound like Christmas. That's true, I thought I heard it from a little bit a while ago. Felix Linebeck, a tabaxi with the word feline in his name. Clever. Flint Orman, also very obvious because he's a dwarf. Terry, let that sink in. Terry, nice and short. Terry is a simple goblin sailor. He got his name from the shopkeepers he hangs around every time his ship docks. His full name is Terben Krak Ratiki, but everyone except his parents call him Terry because it's easier to remember. Oh, and I also have a gnome sorceress called Nixison Fibblzeppel Bonk. Why Bonk? Nix for short, and Bonk for her friends. Oh, that's cute. Hamish and Dakes. A cook who took up adventuring when orcs burned his village. His friends call him Ham. I was kind of expecting a different backstory. Hamish and Eggs, a cook who took up adventuring when orcs burned his toast. And then he's out for revenge. I had a lizard folk barbarian called I'm a dinosaur. Malarkey Hardy. Oh no. A 20-year-old human male who can't quite seem to catch a break. He was an NPC I created which the party hadn't met during a particular quest. Basically, he was the third in line to become captain of the town guard after the two previous captains were viciously mauled to death by a rogue group of werewolves in the area. He comes off as a kind of whiny and cowardly, but he still has a job to do that he was basically forced into because there was nobody else with a pulse to take the position. The character would go on to be relocated to several other locations, and each time he would find himself in a position of authority to where he would basically complain and whine until the players, saying that he's not made for this kind of stuff. Played a disguised character. The whole time, the grandiose, boisterous, and flamboyant paladin I played was a skeleton. Using the reborn character option from Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft and tweaking things a little bit, the DM and I managed to make a skeleton playable race with some interesting aspects. The best part, he had a heraldry title, and every single word in it was a skeleton pun. See, now I thought it was just going to be cool, and now it's going to be cool and funny. His name is Bon Crania, valorous son of Lord Sternum Osseous, and of Lady Scapula Humerus, of the illustrious Skeletor bloodline, knight unwavering of the Order of the Columna Spinatus. Contextually, our DM fractured a rib laughing his butt off. I love it. See, for something like 20 sessions or so, him and I were the only ones who knew about Bon Crania's true nature, and the party didn't catch on to any of it. The two of us dropped a graveyard's worth of skeleton puns and bone references every session, but the whole party just never picked up on them. I swear, every time either of us said anything about it, it would take 2 minutes or so for our glorious DM to hide the laughing fits and regain his composure to start narrating again. When Bon Crania's true nature was revealed, our DM just said, "Well, it took you long enough, but there were a lot of clues about your friend being a skeleton. Don't be so rattled about it." Mr. Bones! What? I can't. And then proceeded to laugh for a good 5 minutes straight until he actually busted a rib and we had to bring him to the emergency rescue, where he worsened his conditions even more since he could not explain that he had a bone fracture without thinking of Bon Crania and laughing his ass off again, worsening the fracture. "It only hurts when I laugh, but I cannot stop laughing. I am boned." Ow, 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 ow. That sounds like something I would do. And I would need my girlfriend to slap me like, "Stop it, Ron, stop." I think the most recent campaign in my group has started some of the greatest character names we have come up with yet. For instance, we have an ASMR cleric warlock by the name of Jedediah Ironfist. There's my Yuan-Ti artificer rogue, Jonathan Richardson, better known in the Waste as Johnny Dickshot. We have Russula, or Rusula, our reborn cleric, flavored as a sentient fungus piloting the corpse of a small girl. Oh, that's so sad and cute. There's Garrett, the Tabaxi Ranger. His name remains simple to contrast the insanity of the other names in our party. And last but certainly not least, even though she was only with us for one session, Crystal Metheny, a half-orc barbarian whose player was unfortunately unable to keep playing with us as she started school several provinces away. Godspeed, Walter White. Hey everyone, Brian Von VA here, checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell to get notified whenever we post or go live, and of course, leave a best, cute, happy, or silly name down in the comments below for your characters or NPCs. I literally almost lost my breath about 1,000 times reading all of these, and most of them were actually highly creative too, so I'm really proud of all of you for all of that. And, of course, if you want to come say hi to me, by the way, Brian Von VA, that's BrianVaughn VA. Come do so on my Twitch. You can say hi anytime. Look in the link in the description for my website. You can see all my socials at the very bottom. I always end things on a positive note, and I just... I guess today I just wanted to say to everybody out there who's making a character for the first time, have fun with it. Really, I mean, listen to these character names. We basically had Bonehilda in there, okay, from Sims. Every name has a backstory. They could be silly, they could be sweet, they could be funny, they could be serious, anything. Just have fun with it. Don't worry about what people will think of it. If someone says it's cringy, that's their opinion. All that matters is that it's your character, your name, and I want you to have fun with it. And maybe it'll make it into a video here by being super serious and depressing, or ultra funny and hilarious, or just something truly witty and clever that no one else would have thought of. But even if it doesn't, just remember, that character will be with you in your heart, in your mind, anytime you go to play a D&D game or Pathfinder or Cthulhu, and they'll always be there with you. And I'm proud of you for creating them, and I hope you guys and gals and everybody in between, hope you all create a ton of characters. I love you all. Please be safe, happy, and healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.